that our natural resources are not going anywhere, that we will not pretend to make this a short process. In fact, it will be a long process. While I understand that land will not go anywhere and natural resources will not go anywhere, but I want the world to know that our people are dying everywhere. I had a dream, and I was dreaming that one day I would be in a place like this to share with the world what the United States is doing to our people back in Guam. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And this is what we must contend with. And we must quit pretending that this problem does not exist. Colonialism on Guam and throughout the world has its roots in capitalism and the exploitation of man and natural resources, our Mother Earth. In the name of capitalism, colonial countries are taking over people's lands. They are controlling our people back in Guam. Colonialism is alive today. It is very much alive in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. You will find its heart beating in Northern Ireland. You will find the blood of colonialism flowing down in South Africa. Young people throughout the world are making changes in Japan, the Philippines, Korea, South Africa, China, Guam, and here in Hawaii. We need to stand together. So today I bring with me a message of unity, a message of coalition of all indigenous peoples. Generations come and generations will pass, but if no generation has the courage, the conscience, and the conviction to right the wrongdoings of the past, then the next generation will have to live with the same injustice in the future. How can the people of Guam, the indigenous people of Chamoru, survive under colonial rule, imperialist laws, the subjugation of our people for the past 400 years? We have suffered much in the hands of the colonizer. First, the Spaniards bring us Christianity in its formal religion, that our ancient ancestral worshiping is an evil worshiping type religion. Therefore, in the name of Christianity, 95,000 of my ancestors died in the hands of the Spanish soldiers in order to love God. Then the United States came in 1898. The United States Marines invaded Guam and took possession of our island from the Spaniards. In the early 1900s, the United States naval government passed laws which regulated our cultural practices and punished our people for speaking the language, required every able-bodied man and boy 16 years old and up to bring in 5 heads of rat per month to the U.S. naval government. And for every head of rat that you did not bring in, you had to pay 25 cents. There were others. We could not whistle in the downtown, in the capital of Guam. We could not have cockfights. We could not process tuba. There were many things we could not do. As a matter of fact, the United States government said that we were dirty, bad habits, uncivilized. That by establishing an American educational system on Guam, we will have, quote, in our hands by Naval Governor Dyer, a most loyal, devoted possession of the United States. Today, many of our people don't speak the language, don't practice the culture, don't have an identity. No roots, no sense of belonging, no sense of direction in life. Today, our people are dying spiritually and physically from alcoholism and drug abuse. Our colonizer is the master of intrigue who wears the cloak and dagger and has successfully poisoned the minds of our people and killed the spirits of our people with alcoholism and drugs. So today I stand here before you to understand the suffering that is going on in Guam. We cannot survive. The United States military is holding on to 44,000 acres of our lands in Guam. 1/3 of Guam is in the hands of the United States military. 32,000 acres is outside the military installation fence, not ever been used. 12,000 acres of our homelands is within the fence, only 6,000 acres is being used. Today we are asking the United States to give us our ancestral lands back, and today they are telling us that we must pay for it at $281,000 an acre. The United States has plans to set aside 32,000 acres of that to establish a Guam National Wildlife Refuge to protect our endangered species. In fact, the animals in Guam are more important to the United States government than the Chamoru people. In fact, if we do nothing, then the Chamoru people will become the endangered species. How can our people survive when the United States military dumped highly toxic chemicals in the northern part of Guam, directly over Guam's sole source water aquifer, underground water aquifer? Based on a water sampling that was done over an 8-year period of time, based on documents that we have that was given to us, our drinking water has been contaminated with trichloroethylene. How can our people survive when 70% of our drinking water comes from that sole source water aquifer? How can our people survive when our only freshwater lake has a fence built around it and is a military installation? Indeed, the United States is the master of intrigue. That when you control a people's land, you control the people. When you control the people's water, you control the people. When you control a people's natural resources within its 200-mile exclusive economic zone, you control a people. A loyal colonialist once said, "Give me liberty or give me death." This radical nationalist would like to say, "I would much rather die than to be a slave in my own land." In the end, the spirit of the oppressed will conquer the sword of the oppressor. But Angel, you have a Spanish last name, dude. But Angel, you don't look Chamoru. But Angel, you are only half. Indeed, I may be half. But it does not mean that I am half human being and half animal, am I? There is no nationality in this world that is pure, is there? If we take Darwin's theory of evolution, we all came from the apes in Africa, but I would not accept that theory of evolution. There is the other explanation, a biblical one, that we all came from Adam and Eve. So there is no race in this world that is pure. But the United States and other colonial countries use racism as a way to divide our people. Racism is a sick belief system that is designed by the colonizer in order to control the colonized. I will not be brainwashed anymore. Today I am proud. I am a descendant of the original inhabitants of Guam who have lived there for the past 4,000 years. And the United States had no right to forgive Japan for the atrocities and the war crimes subjected on our people, forced marches, forced labor, concentration camps, all the physical